now that you've decided to bring Sister Derby into the conversation,
I didn't decide. Yeah.
Well,
I've brought.
Her. Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
So how do you feel, about her new music with Medical?
It's very bad. She has done a bad thing.
Welcome guys, my name is Doreen Abanema Abayaa, and you are locked with me here on Talkertainment. Today, I have with me an interesting man, and he is someone who doesn't really conform to the norms. But then, not in the way you were thinking. But before anything else, let's dive right into the conversation, and you get to know who my guest is. Welcome, Wanluv.
Thank you, Doreen.
It's actually a pleasure to have you here today.
I'm happy to be here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like the view.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's like a section of different parts of Accra. You have bush, you have uncompleted, you have like oil company, you have everything going on.
Yeah.
High tension cables, coconut trees, palm trees.
Yeah. It's left with only the beach. We just didn't have that one.
Yeah.
It would have been really nice to see.
Yeah, a beach and a small mountain.
That one too.
A tiny mountain.
And I'm sure we would have hiked. It would have been really good. But do you age at all? Because I've known you since
a lot.
Way back, and you don't, because you look amazing. It's like
Thank
evergreen.
You. Thank you. I don't allow stress to have my personal line.
That's why I said you are controversial, but not in the way that people think. You don't conform. You just live your life free from everything that people are thinking.
I try to.
You try to.
Yeah.
But anybody that'll see Wanluv will be like, Wanluv doesn't have a problem.
You already know one of my problems.
The folding pizza?
Yeah, the self-folding, suspending
Anyways,
pizza.
if you're missing out, Wanluv said one of his problems is, he wants to get a very delicious pizza that will appear from somewhere and be folding itself and then entering his mouth. That's one of his problems. And I don't know how that is a problem.
My main problem.
Your main problem.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's get into the conversation.
Cool.
Wanluv, how would you describe, your lifestyle? Your personality, you as a whole.
My lifestyle is, I'm just trying to be as comfortable as possible with myself without oppressing people with it, or feeling like I'm oppressing people with it. Like, on my way here, I ride a motorcycle because I've realized that I'm not gonna own a car in a city where there's traffic. It's something I'm never gonna do.
Right.
Because the way I live my life in music and in art and the way I float around things, I feel like the only vehicle for me in Accra would be a bicycle, motorcycle, something like that, or helicopter. So, I just try to meander. But I was talking about on the way here, I was on a motorcycle and I was going behind a military truck. I have a problem with the military because of what they did during the lockdown in Ashaiman and what they're doing now in Ashaiman. I don't feel like they're moving correct. But the people in the truck, I heard them saying, because some of them didn't know it was me. Yeah. And they're saying, send away in the top. But it's hot. I don't want to sweat. If I wear a shirt and I go here, I'll be sweating, I think. Right. Or if nothing at all, because of the sun, my arms from here to here will get darker. Right. And then this part of my body will be lighter. So when I take off my clothes, I'll look like I'm wearing a skin t-shirt. Right. And I don't think that's cool. Yeah. So I try anytime I'm in the sun to expose most of my body as possible.
So you evenly tan your body?
I try to, currently because of short or the small skirts I wear, this part of my area is like in Sawam sugar bread. It's really soft and white. And yeah. And so any chance I get, when I go to friends that have big compounds and they don't really have neighbors that can see in the compound, I walk around naked so that the sun shines everywhere. I even lie on my back and raise my legs and spread myself sometimes for the sun to shine.
This is what I'm
Deep.
saying, guys. He's controversial, but not the way that you think.
No, just to have it even this thing. I mean, just look here. Look,
Yeah,
it's too much. For me, for my eyes, like, come on.
I can't even help it.
So the world is a very strange place because there are people who are going in the other direction.
Yeah.
People are like, hey, we able say na upi.
Right.
Pay umbrella beer.
And I would say you share.
And me, I want to be like, I'm not secretly, I've said it before, I am jealous of mad people.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I'm like, why are you walking naked and nobody cares? Like, I wish if I was walking naked right now, I think people, maybe if I do it for a long time, they'll stop caring.
Right. Just like how you.
Hey, I'm getting an idea. You know, they were saying that if I was like a fully black person, that they'll say I'm mad because I'm not. But when people are working on buildings, the masons, carpenters and stuff, they take off their shirts to work. You know, the human body is like an air conditioning system. You know, you sweat so that the breeze that comes in contact with the sweat rapidly cools your body down. But when you're wearing a t-shirt or when you're wearing clothes and the wind blows against the clothes which have soaked the sweat, it doesn't have the same effect. So if you are walking around with no shirts and moving, running, whatever, you sweat less than if you're wearing a shirt and running around because that air con is not being blocked. But I was saying I'm jealous of mad people because, you know, they can walk around naked.
But not you.
I can, but I don't know what will happen in the first few weeks. I think I need to have enough money in case I'm arrested for public nudity. But until they realize that maybe I do have a mental problem, they won't leave me alone.
And you do have a mental problem.
I'll have to fake a mental problem. You see?
But you know this is on camera.
Yeah, it's fine, but it can happen that I really did go mad later. So even if it's on camera, it doesn't matter. I'll be able to do it enough to where they'll believe it, even though they've seen this interview. They'll be like, no, I know he was planning it, but this one is real.
This one is true.
Yeah.
And how is the music? How is the music going? Because you've been in the music industry for over a decade.
About 55 years in the music.
And how old are you?
69. No.
You see, you had to think before actually giving me
No, think of a nice number. I've been doing, professionally, I started in 2005.
Oh, not 7 actually, because your first album was released in
7.
2007.
Yeah.
And I think the name was Green Card?
Yeah.
Green Card in 2007.
Yeah. So, a while, almost 15, maybe more. Yeah.
2017.
But you know, it's a short time. Yeah, not for musicians. It's a short time for most musicians, really, because it's one of the hardest jobs in the world. If you want, I was listening to Panjianov talk about it. He was saying that if you want an easy job, then you should take maybe medicine, doctor or lawyer, because in 10 years you are guaranteed to be at a level making that successful salary, right? In 10 years, it's almost guaranteed. So you have way more doctors than you have successful musicians. Right. And for a musician, 10 years is just when you are now like establishing yourself, you know? So it's one of the hardest jobs, really, and you don't have hours. You're always working. You don't have like off hours, really.
You always have to keep.
Yeah, it's not have. It drives, something drives you to do that. So, I think at every point in time, artists need to like refresh, rebrand. And I'm thinking of a new name to use.
New name?
Yeah, I'm thinking
because there was, fucking boys. And then there was Wanlov, the Kobolo. Mensah also did his own thing.
Yeah, those like still existing. But I think like for my new stuff, I need to come with a new name. I'm thinking of SDB.
Hey, what does that mean?
Like nowadays, a lot of people walk up to me. Yeah. It doesn't mean serious dadaba, which could also apply, but it it stands for Sister Deborah's brother. Because a lot of people see me now and they're like, oh wow, I want to take a picture with you. You are Sister Deborah's brother.
But you are also a whole brand.
Yeah, but they are associating me more as the brother.
Okay.
So I have to take advantage of that brand and start calling myself SDB. Sister Derby's bro.
Interesting. And now that you've decided to bring Sister Derby into the conversation,
I didn't decide. Yeah.
Well,
I've brought.
shipped her. Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
So how do you feel, about her new music with Medical?
It's very bad. She has done a bad thing. No, I'm not. No, what are you talking about? No, I enjoy it. It was a pleasant surprise for me because she didn't tell me.
Whoa.
Yes, she
Not
didn't.
even you.
I didn't know.
I'm the only one shocked.
No. I didn't know. I mean, I've been away for some time.
Yeah.
So, all I remember. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was Blinks. Blinks sent me a message, said he's seen a flyer going around of trophies and called a trophy and something featuring Sister Deborah. But is it true? So that I informed Deborah.
Like 2 weeks ago or probably a week ago.
Yeah. So I forwarded the flyer to Deborah and then she just responded with the song. So I listened to it and I was like, wow, is there a video? We should shoot something. So we've already shot something. I was like, oh, okay.
And you were in the dark.
Yeah. Double.
It looks like she wanted it to come as a surprise.
Oh no, that's how Deborah is. Unless she needs some kind of help somewhere along the way, she does a lot of things on her own.
Very independent.
Yeah, super.
Wow.
Yeah. She doesn't like people knowing like what she's doing. Even where are you going, cry? She doesn't answer most of that. She just say I'll be back by 2 or something. She won't tell you where she's going. Yeah.
So where's Mensah now?
Mensah is sitting in his. I was going to give the whole address. He was sitting in his house in Gravesend in South London.
South London.
Yeah, we just had a Zoom right now with some people from Poland before I came here. That was my meeting before this one.
And I recently checked up on the recent collab you guys did. I think it was a long time ago, but it was recently released. Whether it was a music film, I don't know how to actually.
Oh, because of money, yeah.
Yeah, because of money.
Oh, you watched it?
I have.
Really?
I have.
Some or all?
Oh, I've watched up to I think more
some.
than 40 minutes.
Some. You watched
some. You guys more pen talker. And I saw that graphic where black rastas ate in the toilet.
I've never seen the film, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Should I show you?
No.
That means you are aware.
No, I just don't want to
That
see
means you are aware.
toilet.
And that actually pushes me to that question.
I don't want to see toilet.
Oh God. You guys were in the beginning of the two. You guys actually emerged from this public toilet.
What's the local name for public toilet?
Wanluv. This is about you. This is about you. And then I saw, you didn't even name.
Shitum.
Shitum. Yo. So that means you know what I'm talking about.
Shitum.
But
but I just know what public toilet is.
Yeah. And then it was quite interesting to see Black Cresta's name was printed on the graphic.
Oh, I have to go and watch this again to be sure. I can't recall.
You can.
Yeah.
But then I know there was an altercation between you guys.
Oh yeah, I mean we used to have some banter back in the day, so it was just part of our back and forth. Yeah, but since I chopped slap, I've stopped.
He apologized.
I'm not into turning the other cheek, so I just chopped it like that.
But he apologized about 4 days ago.
I saw online. I wonder if it was a condition for a grant or something.
Nah.
I'm just.
Yeah, but I actually wanted to go a bit into that because many of us who weren't, there at that time,
You weren't born.
Some of us were very young then.
Pampers.
Some of us. I'm not part of them because me and my grandma.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
talking for my youth, the generation. There. What really transpired? Because he said his story and a publication in 2013. You said you've partially forgiven him.
Partially. Maybe I was still in pain.
Oh, but now you are.
Partially, yeah. I don't remember that. That's age. I used to be petty like that, to be doing partial forgiveness.
So have you forgiven him fully?
Oh, a long time, yeah. Even the recent was a surprise to me. I was like, hey, because I've forgotten about it.
Yeah. Forgotten about it.
Yeah, for the most part.
Anyways, Guys, that conversation is getting interesting. Wanluv is giving me so many interesting juicy details, but you know there's still more to come. Let's go for a quick commercial break, and I'll be right back. Welcome back. It's me, your girl Doreen Abayaa, and I'm still here, locked down with Wanluv the Kobolo. Wanluv is actually making me giggle so much, I don't want to even get into it. Our conversation has been juicy so far. Wanluv, being in the music industry for over a decade, what difference?
For just a decade.
Over a decade.
But just a decade.
But just a decade. What is the difference from then and now?
I feel the biggest difference is the access to recording spaces or equipment, or to the knowledge. Because of the internet, you can learn a lot about recording, mixing, mastering online. You can disseminate your music easier. You can get it out there in the world. You know, you can cross borders easier. So I feel like it has made it's easier for creatives to create and put out. It's just because it's easy. The trade-off is maybe the quality is dropping, the focus is a bit too thin, it's not, you know, tight. And so there's an offset to it. But the biggest thing is that artists no longer have to go into huge studios and book studio time and record and so on, which is still good depending on the kind of sound or what you want. But just on your phone, Android, iPhone, whatever phone, you can download software, pay for it, $5, $10, where you can record your vocals, you can produce beats, everything, mix, master, everything on the phone and upload it somewhere.
Without going into the studio.
Yeah.
So then and now, I'm sure you prefer now compared to before.
Yeah, I don't know. I wasn't really recording much then. I kind of entered during the computer time. So I think I'll prefer now because, you know, like then there was like Napster, iTunes had just come. There's just a few avenues and the websites and the user interfaces were not that developed and customizable, you know. But now so many different platforms you can send your music to, and YouTube and all this stuff. So it's a better time now if you are focused and you are bent on putting out quality and like putting your spirit in what you're doing. It's a better time now, I feel.
You know, doing music, you know, your song has actually touched on a lot of topics, more recycling. There was one I listened, rape. It's like you get so creative with your song. You think about something, you pick it, and then you write on it. You know, rape, recycling. Which other one was it? Gay activism. That takes me to that question. So, being a pro-gay activist, would you be okay, you know, to? But well, before I get into that, have you read the gay bill?
Some of it.
And I'm sure you have a fair idea of how it's actually going.
Yeah.
So far. Have you ever considered, you know, that in a society that you preach morals, they should change their ways, ask for a woman for her consent, so it doesn't become like, hey, I want to sleep with you, and she says no, you force your way. I listened to your song. I've listened to all 13 tracks, and I love them.
White card, okay.
Right, white card. And in a society that morally doesn't accept gays, how are you actually doing it? Will you be okay if your child goes and say, Dad, I think I'm gay? You know?
Yeah, I think the first mistake is thinking that our society or Africans haven't accepted being queer morally. We have always had queer people among us for time immemorial. It is just the poverty now that is making people focus on disenfranchised members of the society. That's what's happening now. People, like the average Ghanaian, feels oppressed by the system and feels like, why should someone that they see as a sinner or not morally upright also want dare to want rights, when the average Ghanaian themselves doesn't have any rights as a human being. You are mistreated by, the laws of the land, by salaries. There's so many ways that we are not getting our dues and our human rights as human beings. And so that we have found a group of people that we feel are below us, and so how dare they want to be getting the same rights as us. That's how I see the whole thing, because for me, I don't see any difference, between us in humanity, sexually, physically, gender wise. I don't see why that should be any focus of any human being's situation, when we have a whole lot of real problems. And not to say that that's a problem, I don't see it as a problem at all. There's so many things going on that we turn a blind eye to. There are children being molested, abused, and this, of course, 90% will be heterosexual, people that are molesting and abusing children. There's so much sickness going on. There's so much poverty, corruption. Those are the things that if we tackle, Ghana will get better. If we stopped everybody, if it's possible, even, because it's not possible, from being queer, tomorrow, which of Ghana's problems will be solved? It's not queer people that are leaving potholes on the road. It's not queer people who are making places run out of vaccines. It's not queer people who are, selling the country. They're just normal people in their places. But the government and the religious societies and so-called morally upright Ghanaians are using the queer community as a scapegoat, just to divert us from them doing their real jobs.
But this queer LGBTQ situation, it's not just in Ghana. It's all around the world. Even in the advanced world, where people think it's it's okay, there are still many people who don't support it.
Yeah.
But then, if you talk about it being some of the problems, where it being a way for the government to trample on people's rights, that I don't think I really quite agree.
It is. It's not about, I know, from the kind of research I've done and the societies in which people, you see, if we take America and the fact that they're taking away rights from trans people and even women who want to have abortions, these rights are being taken from them by the government because of the push of religious bodies. Not from an average non-religious person who just wants to live their life. These are the agendas of religious bodies, mostly Christian and Islamic, that want a certain kind of maiden's tale existence of life. In life, there's also always supposed to be a man, a woman, children. The woman should stay in the house. That kind of Mormon Christian existence. So if you look across the board, around the globe, most of the developed countries, quotes unquote, but we call them developed because they've underdeveloped us by taking our resources. Right. That's how they've advanced. Most of these countries where queer rights are being oppressed, you will notice that the forces behind it are purely religious. They just have money, they lobby in governments and pay people in governments to make bills to oppress, queer people. And there's one group in Texas called the Western Congress of Families that are behind the bills in Uganda, Poland, Hungary, Ghana. It's church bodies pushing their religious views on people, And for the ministers that are here pushing this bill, it's some chop money for them. They are talking about homosexuality being a Western thing, but they are receiving Western money to fight against their own fellow citizens in this country who have done them no harm, who actually are waiting on them to do the job they signed up for, to look out for Ghanaians, fix the roads, provide water, hospital, school. They are not doing that work. They are rather coming to oppress you, a taxpayer, about your lifestyle in your bedroom, just as a distraction from doing the actual job. That's how I see it. Like, there's nothing good that's going to happen in Ghana the day after all queer people have stopped being queer or disappear.
But why are
Nothing.
you touching more on the queer?
What do you mean?
When there's the gay, the lesbian.
That's what queer is. Queer is all the
Is it-
sexualities.
Okay.
Yeah.
All the sexualities there.
Queer is gay, lesbian, bisexual, trans, all that is under queer.
Under one umbrella.
Yeah.
That's
Intersex.
for those who actually don't have knowledge on what the LGBTQ is. You know, females being lesbians, men being gay, and you know, people saying, "Oh, I love this kind of person because of this kind of reason." The big umbrella is the queer. So
Yeah.
Wanluv is talking more about queer. That's what it's about.
It's everybody. Yeah.
Now to your child.
Yeah, so even I have a daughter who is currently infatuated with another girl. And I don't see anything wrong with that. Like, she likes this girl. That's what her mom told me. And I asked her,
How
and
old is
said,
she?
she's 11.
Wow.
You know, and I don't see anything wrong with that because, again, sexuality and gender, I feel, is fluid, and I feel like human beings must do what they want to do as long as it's not affecting someone else's life. You see what I'm saying? Like, nobody can tell me how a queer person is causing them problems in this country. I can tell you 10 reasons. Yeah, unless it's a queer person in government, then I can say that this person is chopping someone's money.
It looks like your support for, you know, the LGBTQ community is so strong.
What do you mean? It's just
They're all
not.
human beings.
Yeah, everybody's a human being. Yeah. So if I've
But
seen.
you're trying to say if anybody's doing anything, it should be a heterosexual person.
No. That's why I didn't say that.
Okay,
I said
get that right.
unless the person is in government and they are queer, then they'll say that, oh, this person is doing this bad thing because they are queer. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like, the queerness is just a side issue. Is the person a good person or a bad person?
Right.
So if there's a queer person being beaten outside right now okay, you shouldn't beat people in public, you should go to the police station and stuff. But if there's a queer person being prosecuted for taking part in pedophilia, there's no way I'm going to support the person because the person is a bad person for taking advantage of a child, you know, for raping a child. That's a different thing.
Okay, so what you actually stand for is, you know, leave people to live their free lives.
As long as they're not, as long as they're not bothering you.
Just leave them to.
Yeah, you know, because, and people talk about, you know, there's this fallacy that if we allow people to just be free, that they're going to be having sex on the streets outside in front of us. But heterosexual people are not, I don't see that, you know, happening to an extent, unless you go to some crazy place like Mardi Gras and the rest, where you see heterosexual people doing it. But also, the fact that they say that if they see a lot of queer people, then the children will also start becoming queer. We have watched heterosexual films and seen heterosexuality around us all our life. And still there are people who are becoming queer. So how is that? Why didn't that keep everybody heterosexual up to now, you know? Why isn't everybody heterosexual because all we've been consuming so far has been heterosexual content, you know? So I don't believe in this thing that everybody's going to start becoming more gay. People become more free, but if you're not gay, you cannot become gay. You can't.
You heard it from Wanluv. The plan isn't to trample on their rights, the queer rights. He wants people to be left alone to be who they want to be. And like you heard from him, he has a daughter who's 11 years old that actually is infatuated about another girl. This interesting conversation just came to an end. But then we'll be bringing you a part 2 next week. My name is Doreen Abanema.